Hi, my name is Jessie and I'm going to show you a dressing stick now. So a dressing stick has two different ends. First is like this kind of L hook is what I kind of call it. And then the other end is just like a regular hook, kind of like a fish hook. So there's ones out there that are just one stick. This one doesn't come apart. Or there's ones like this that they're kind of travel friendly. Another thing we kind of look at, just because a lot of people care about it, is sometimes the hooks won't have the white coating on them. Like this one is just metal. And sometimes that can put a hole in people's socks or clothes. Then they're less likely to maybe use the equipment. So sometimes I will make sure if we're ordering something out in the clinical setting that it has that white rubber coating on it. Just because I don't want people to ruin their clothes, and then they're less likely to use it sometimes if it does. And sometimes they will have dressing sticks that maybe don't have this hook on one end, because there are ones out there that just have maybe nothing on one end, but they have the L hook on the other end. So if they're using it for more their shoulder, like I'll kind of show you in a minute, then sometimes that's easier to not have this hook on the other end, because when you're pulling your shirt over, sometimes the hook does kind of catch onto your shirt. So just some little considerations. But the ways that we can kind of use this out in the clinical setting is either with kind of paired with a sock aid, because a sock aid can help us get our socks on, but then sometimes we have issues still getting the socks off. So sometimes we can use kind of this ditch almost of this L hook to kind of get right behind our ankle bone, where kind of our Achilles tendon, runs right here. So that kind of has a crevice already in our ankle where we can kind of get down and get the back of the heel of our shoe or our sock to take it off. And then usually it can also help us get the sock back on if somebody's kind of struggling with that. Maybe they can get it over their toe, but then they need help getting it over their heel the rest of the way. Same goes for this end. This can kind of help people put on their socks in case they are unable to kind of get them on or off, or they can do it partially maybe. Because if people can do kind of this leg over their foot over their opposite knee, then we try to get to here first before equipment. But sometimes with precautions and different things going on, we can't do that. Another way we can use this is if somebody has a shoulder impairment or maybe shoulder pain that's preventing their mobility. So for example, I see a lot of rotator cuff tears out in the community, and so sometimes they have pain with any motion that's up against gravity. So the way that we can kind of alleviate that a little bit or make them more independent with putting on a pullover shirt is using this ditch again to kind of help pull the shirt over their head. So I'll kind of show you how that works. So let's say they like wearing sweatshirts like this. Then I would have them put their arms over their elbows first and pull it up over their elbows so that it's easier to pull it over in general. And then again, we're going to use that ditch of the dressing stick to grab the back of the shirt and the neck of it. So I have the whole back of the shirt and the neck. And I'm going to grab it with that L hook, and then pull it over my head. So that way I'm only really using my elbows and my biceps to really push the shirt over. I'm not lifting my shoulders up, anything like that. And then if somebody were to take it back off, then they would kind of pinch the shirt and push their elbows down like most people do. Kind of get their arms free first, and then they'd grab it from the front on the way back off. So they would kind of grab all of this, make sure I don't bring my hair with it. They'd use that same ditch and kind of push it over their head. So that could be an easier way for someone to get their shirt on and off if they have a pullover shirt. Another way we can use this dressing stick with like shoulder issues, especially if somebody struggles with reaching behind their back or different rotation movements, like to put on a jacket. We can kind of use it to help get behind our back. So let's say I can get one shoulder on, okay, but then I can't get rotated back, you know, to get my jacket, and sometimes even if we do flip it around or drape it, kind of, we can't get back there due to different rotation limitations. So the way we could fix this is kind of using this side to either get your arm back there this way, or even using the opposite arm to kind of get behind there. So usually we'd put on, not to say bad, but the weaker or maybe more painful shoulder first, so that we could use this to kind of get behind our back and hook the inside of our sleeve or the coat and bring it around. It takes me a couple tries, and then you can kind of bring it back enough for your good arm to put it on. There are some times where people have two shoulders, like both their shoulders are in a lot of pain and kind of struggle to rotate. This kind of requires you to have one good shoulder to rotate behind you, or you can kind of use it from up here on your neck to kind of sneak it around. So I'll get my hair out of the way here. They could kind of sneak it around there like this way in case they can lift their shoulder maybe, but they can't. You know, rotate it. Then that could be another option. But again, it might take a little bit of time. I know I don't do that on it every day, so it took me a little bit of time too. But it might give somebody a little bit more independence back, and kind of can be trialed at times too, if you can find an equipment loan closet to kind of try that out, or Easter seals in their lending library. So that's the dressing stick.